The Lost One by Sweet Wing King 101. Read by Kaiinbed. Relationships include past Severus Snape and Lily Evans Potter, Severus Snape, Regulus Black, and Sirius Black and Remus Lupin. Additional tags include Severitus, Severus Snape is Harry Potter's parent, Albus Dumbledore bashing, manipulative Albus Dumbledore, abuse, good parent Lily, Voldemort bashing, and Horcruxes. Summary. Severus Snape finds out that he, in fact, has a son. Armed with this knowledge, he hunts for his heir. Dumbledore tries to stop him, but Severus will not let his son be raised the same way he was. Chapter 1. Dear Lord Prince, there has been a few discrepancies with your vault. It appears someone has been stealing from you. If you wish to discover the identity of the thief, come to Gringotts at your earliest convenience. Yours in service, Axeclaw, Prince Accountant. I am not sure where you got the idea that I was Lord Prince, Severus said stiffly, because my grandfather disowned my mother and I. He disowned your mother, Axeclaw corrected. But when it was clear you were going to be his only living male descendant, he made you the prince heir. Dumbledore told me he made my uncle the heir. Severus frowned. Your uncle was the heir, Axeclaw agreed. But he died a week after taking the heirship. My cousin is unavailable? Your cousin was disowned when he took a male lover, Axeclaw said dryly. Severus tensed. Your grandfather is not homophobic, but they are both allergic to several ingredients in the male pregnancy potion. Would you like to take up the lordship now? Yes, Severus said firmly. As per protocol, Axeclaw added, you will have to take a blood test. He pulled a silver piece of parchment and a needle from his desk. 3 drops. Severus pricked his finger and allowed 3 drops of blood to fall onto the parchment. Blood test for Severus Tobias Snape Black. Name, Severus Tobias Snape Black, nee Snape. Mother, Eileen Snape, nee Prince. Deceased. Father, Tobias Snape. Deceased. Husband, Regulus Snape Black, nee Black, living. Offspring, Harrison Regulus Snape, living. Severus stopped short, gaping at the blood test. Heir Prince, what is it? I have a son? Severus choked. Axeclaw's eyes widened. That is impossible. Severus broke off. Heir Prince. The week before Lily's wedding, Severus rasped. He had a son. I want the location of my child, Severus growled. He knew the goblins had much more powerful tracking spells and potions than he could ever create. That is doable, Axeclaw agreed. We will need a few drops of your blood and a hair. Severus yanked the hair from his scalp and handed it to the goblin. Then he pulled an empty vial from his robes. Ignoring Axeclaw's eye roll, he pricked his finger again and let 3 more drops fall into the vial. I will contact you when we have the location of your son, Axeclaw said. Now, for your lordship. Titles: Potions Master Snape Black, Half-Blood Prince. Lordship, Prince, Maternal. Ravenclaw, paternal. Airships, none. Chapter 2. Hello, Severus. Are you all right? Phileas asked. Yes, Severus said automatically. Have you seen my husband anywhere? Yes, last I saw he had just entered your quarters. Thank you. Severus wanted to tell Regulus about his son before anyone else. He wasn't sure how Reg would take it. Hopefully, he wouldn't be angry. He found Regulus in their kitchen. He could smell turkey and mashed potatoes. Welcome back, love, Regulus said with a smile. Dinner's almost ready. What happened at Gringotts? I discovered that someone was stealing from the Prince's vaults, Severus began, and that not only am I Lord Prince, but Lord Ravenclaw. Regulus's eyes widened. I thought your grandfather. I am the last living male heir, Severus answered. He had no choice. Regulus frowned. Sev, what's wrong? Nothing, Severus said slowly. More or less. What is it? Reg asked firmly, crossing his arms. Severus rubbed his head. Would you like me to be blunt or warm up to it? Blunt, Reg answered after a short pause. I have a son, Severus said tiredly. Reg dropped the spoon he had been using to stir the gravy. What? He choked. Swiftly, Severus pulled his husband into his arms. It happened before we began courting, he said quietly. Reg relaxed and wrapped his arms around Severus's neck. Who's the mother? Reg asked in a muffled tone, his face pressed into Severus's shoulder. Lily, Severus said dryly. Reg jerked his head back, looking stunned. Severus, your son is Harry Potter? Apparently, she named him Harrison Regulus Snape, Severus said, frowning a little. He hadn't realized that the famous child who had defeated the Dark Lord was his son, not Potter's. She knew you would court me, Reg snorted. When are we going to adopt him? Severus blinked at his husband. You want... He's your son, love, Reg said simply. Severus smashed his lips on Reg's, who let out a muffled yelp before moaning and kissing him back. A moment later. Oh, Merlin, the gravy! What do you mean you can't find my son? Severus growled. Regulus put a hand on his arm. He is hidden behind very powerful wards, Axclaw explained. I only know that he lives in Little Whinging. I can't very well ask Dumbledore where he put the child, Severus groaned. It is very unlikely that he will tell you, Axclaw agreed. You could ask Remus Lupin Black. What? Sev, he considers Harrison his cub, Reg reminded him gently. He could track him. Severus muttered under his breath about stupid werewolves, but finally he agreed. He wanted his son. If he cannot find your child, another option is to perform a air-finding charm in Little Whinging, Axclaw suggested. It was like a point-me charm, but much more powerful. Fine. Severus half hoped the werewolf wouldn't be able to send his son. Dear Remus, Severus discovered that Harry is actually his biological child. We would like to raise him, but we can't find him. Can your wolf track his scent? I'm sure Harry would be pleased to meet you. Regulus Snape Black. Severus, my boy. What do you want now, old man? Severus snapped irritably, having just suffered through a 4-hour staff meeting with the blabbering old fool. Dumbledore smiled, but his eyes were full of anger. I must give you congratulations. Whatever for? Having a son, of course. Oh, shit. Chapter 3. Albus, for the last time, Severus snapped. You do not legally have control over my son. He is biologically mine, meaning I am his magical guardian, and I am going to raise him. Now tell me where he is. He is safe, Albus repeated. Albus Dumbledore, if you do not give me my child. Severus, I thought I heard you shouting, his dear husband said calmly as he entered, bearing a letter. I just got Lucius's response. Lucius's response? Dumbledore questioned. Reg smiled sweetly at the old man, and Severus had to work hard to stifle his lust. Yes, Headmaster, he and Amelia have transferred Harrison's guardianship to his biological father and are currently looking for him. The headmaster's eyes stopped twinkling. I bloody love you, Regulus Snape Black, Severus thought. It would help them out very much, Headmaster, if you told them where you put my husband's son. Regulus crooned. Dumbledore smiled thinly. I'm afraid I can't do that. Why not? Severus barked. I placed him with his mother's remaining living relative. You gave him to Petunia? Severus snarled. Are you mad? She hates magicals. You have just sent my son to his death. She is family, Dumbledore said brightly. I'm sure she loves Harry. You don't want to take him away from a happy home, do you? Albus, that woman bullied her sister just because she had magic, Severus spat. Why would you give a magical child to a magic-hating muggle? Lily created her blood protection, which is why Harry survived, Dumbledore explained. Which would work with me as well. He's related to me by blood. I also wanted to keep Harry away from his fame. I'm sure the boy wouldn't want to be swarmed constantly by fans, Dumbledore added. Well, it's a good thing Severus and I wanted to take a break from teaching and visit his island, Regulus said briskly. What? Dumbledore blinked. Island? Reg, my love, it is your island as well. Severus smirked. You are married to me, consort Ravenclaw prince. Reg blushed, but managed to smirk back. Oh yes, I forgot, dear. You are descended from Ravenclaw as well. Dumbledore sounded pleased, but Severus caught the slight anger behind the tone. Yes, I was surprised, but pleased when my Gringotts accountant told me I was also Lord Ravenclaw, Severus explained. Where is Severus's son? Reg asked again. I'm afraid. There was a knock on the door, and the werewolf entered. Sorry I'm late, Lupin apologized. You said you wanted me to track Harrison. Severus frowned at the wolf. Lupin looked tired, extremely underfed, and grieving. Remus, are you all right? Reg exclaimed in concern, approaching. It's good to see you, Remus, Dumbledore said warmly. There's no need for you to find Harry. Regulus and Severus have decided. I thought his name was Harrison, Remus said coldly. Reg and Severus exchanged looks. The wolf was usually polite to the headmaster. His tone became friendly. When do you need Moony? Now, if you're free, Severus replied. You never answered my question, Regulus said gently. Are you all right, Remus? As well as anyone can be with their mate locked up, Remus said tightly. Of course. The werewolf was depressed. Severus supposed he understood. He would have felt near suicidal without his Regulus. You can come stay with us. You know that, Reg said gently. Especially once we find Harrison. Remus smiled lightly. Thank you, but it's not safe. For Merlin's sake, Remus, Severus said irritably. I am a potions master. I can brew wolf's bane for you. You don't have to. We're not taking no for an answer, Reg said sharply. Let's go get Harrison first, and then we can move you to one of our guest rooms. Dumbledore cleared his throat. I cannot let you. Cannot let me my ass, Severus snapped. He ignored his husband's scolding. Language! He is my son, and you cannot stop me. Chapter 4. Petunia shrieked when she opened the door and almost fell over. You! Hello, Toonie, Severus sneered. Where is Harrison? I don't know who you're talking about, Petunia said waspishly. Harry Potter, Remus said sharply. My cub? The woman blanched. Vernon! We have guests. Bring the freak. Severus tensed. Remus's eyes turned gold, and Reg's usually calm, kind expression went cold. Lucius and Amelia looked just as furious. Petunia didn't notice. She led them into their front room, where a very fat baby was gnawing on a rattle. The two Aurors who had come with Amelia gave the baby appalled looks. A large Muggle man entered the room, holding a small, very skinny baby away from his chest. Remus growled protectively, and Reg put a hand on his shoulder. Give me my child, Severus said in a very cold voice. Yours? The Muggle man said in disgust. Well, of course she would cheat. Freaks you up. 3 wands were suddenly pointed in the man's face, Remus snarling in the background. Petunia and Vernon Dursley, you are under arrest for child abuse. Amelia barked, while half-heartedly trying to hold the angry werewolf back. The two Aurors drew their own wands. What? Dursley roared. Harrison whimpered quietly, and Severus swiftly pulled the baby from his arms. Lucius gestured with his wand. Back against the wall. Severus rubbed the distressed child's back gently, murmuring comforting words to the little one. Harrison relaxed and blinked up at him with tears in his emerald eyes. Where's the baby formula? Regulus barked at Petunia, who was being cuffed by one of the Aurors. Second cupboard to the left of the fridge, Petunia whispered, paling at Reg's dangerous expression. Reg disappeared into the kitchen, and the two Aurors left, disapparating. The fat baby began wailing. Harrison flinched, pressing further against Severus. The two Aurors returned after a moment. What do we do with the brat? One of them asked, glancing at the Dursley baby with disgust. Mr. Dursley will be given to a Muggle orphanage. Amelia said firmly. One of the oars picked up the bawling child and pulled out an empty soda can. The port key activated, and the baby and oar disappeared. Red came back at that moment, holding a bottle of baby formula. He handed the bottle to Severus, and Harris's eyes widened. "Are you hungry, little one?" Severus asked softly, taking a seat on one of the couches and offering the child the bottle. Harrison hesitantly placed a hand on it, eyes full of uncertainty. "Can you hold it yourself?" Severus crooned, letting Harrison take the bottle with both hands. Happily, the baby pulled the bottle to his lips and sucked. He heard a soft sound, and he looked up to see Reg staring at him with a dazed sort of affection. Severus raised an eyebrow. "As adorable as this is," Amelia interrupted dryly, making them both twitch a little, "I suggest you take the child's things to your manor, Severus. Regulus, we're putting this house up for sale to the Muggles." "I'll help," Remus offered. "Thanks." Reg smiled. The two disappeared upstairs. Lucius quickly followed. "Thank you, Amelia," Severus said quietly. The head of the DMLE nodded graciously. A moment later, the three men came back down empty-handed. "We can't find his room," Reg said with a frown. Severus's expression darkened. "I wouldn't put it past her to put him in a closet or a cupboard." Remus sniffed the air. A moment later, he walked toward the hallway and disappeared. A moment later, his protective growls sounded again. "What is it?" Reg asked concernedly. "Hurt cub," was all Remus could manage. Harrison's bottle popped out of his mouth, and he said hesitantly, "Ennui?" Remus appeared again, muttered cupboard under the stairs to Reg and Lucius, and approached the two of them. Once he was within 2 feet of Harrison, the child beamed. "Ennui!" he said again. "Hey, cub," Remus whispered, sitting down beside Severus, hesitantly. Harrison reached out one hand for him, and Severus handed the baby to the wolf. Harrison happily snuggled into the man's chest and dropped the bottle. "Why didn't he recognize you earlier?" Severus frowned. "I don't know." Remus sighed. "He could usually see pretty far. James joked that he must have gotten my eyesight somehow." He rolled his eyes. "I should get him to a healer," Severus decided. "I'll flu Poppy once we get him settled." Reg and Lucius returned empty-handed again. "All that's in there is a crib with old pillowcases stuffed with cotton balls," Reg spat. "He doesn't even have a blanket or a stuffed animal." Amelia's mouth thinned. "Send me his medical report once you have it," she said tightly to Severus. "They need to be put away for a long time." Medical history for Harrison Regulus Snape. Summary: Horcrux, magical scar, blocks, malnourished, damaged eyesight. Recommend immediate healing. Age 0, none. Age 1, Horcrux, key to Tom Morello Riddle, ineffective. Blocks on magic and magical abilities. Key to Albus Percival Wulfric Brian Dumbledore. Recommend immediate magical purge. Malnourished, damaged eyesight. Key to Vernon Dursley and Petunia Dursley Nee Evans. Recommend immediate healing. Chapter 5. "He blocked the child's magic?" Axclaw snarled, eyes flashing with rage. Amelia was furious as well. She wants to see the extent of the blocks so she can arrest him as well. Axclaw pulled a piece of pale green parchment from his desk. "As he is underage, a hair will do." Severus pulled a quill from his pocket and transfigured it into a pair of scissors. Then, with Harrison watching in a puzzled way, he clipped one hair from his head and placed it on the parchment. Axclaw tapped the hair and the paper glowed. The hair disappeared, and elegant silver writing replaced it. Magical aura test for HRS. Magic, dark, 100% blocked, APWBD. Level 2020, 70% blocked, APWBD. Abilities, born animagus, black kitten, blocked, APWBD. Parselmouth, parcel magic, blocked, APWBD. Potions, blocked, APWBD. Dark magic, blocked, APWBD. Creature, half vampire, submissive, will come into inheritance at 16. Mate unknown. Compulsions none. Potions. Draft of Fear, key to Vernon Dursley. Draft of Fear, Key to Petunia Dursley, nee Evans. Submissive Elixir, key to Vernon Dursley. Submissive Elixir, key to Petunia Dursley, nee Evans. Submissive Elixir, key to Albus Percival Wulfric Brian Dumbledore. Other, Horcrux, 1.56%. Key to Tom Marvolo Riddle, not harmful. Attempted block, APWBD. Submissive Elixir, unable to hold due to Horcrux. Recommend immediate magical purge. Severus snarled furiously, I am going to kill him. Harrison flinched and whimpered a little. Severus quickly pulled him closer and murmured gentle apologies. X-Claw pulled the paper towards him and growled a little when he read it. He will need a magical purge, the goblin said tightly. But it will be painful. Severus winced. And he can't take a numbing potion. I could put him to sleep during the ritual, X-Claw suggested. Do that, Severus said abruptly. And afterwards, I want to blood adopt with Reg. He will have to be here for that, X-Claw pointed, eyes twinkling. He will. At the moment, he's planning Dumbledore's funeral. Severus bloody loved his husband, but he was terrifying sometimes. Blood test for Harrison Regulus Snape Black. Birth name, Harrison Regulus Snape. Blood adopted name, Harrison Regulus Snape Black. Birth mother, Lily Potter nee Evans, deceased. Birth father, Severus Tobias Snape Black nee Snape, living. Blood adopted bearer, Regulus Snape Black nee Black, living. Blood adopted father, James Fleamont Potter, deceased. Godfathers, Sirius Orion Lupin Black nee Black, living, compromised. Remus John Lupin Black nee Lupin. Godmothers, Alice Longbottom nee Fortescue, living, compromised. Titles, Boy Who Lived, Dark Lord's Downfall, Master of Death. Lord 2, Potter, paternal, JFP. Gryffindor, paternal, JFP. Merlin, paternal, JFP. Hufflepuff, maternal. Peveril, conquest. Slytherin, conquest. Gaunt, conquest. Heir to, Lupin Black, Godfathers. Ravenclaw, paternal, STSB. Prince, paternal, STSB. Horcrux detected. Tom smiled. He heard his vessel whimper a bit, and he quickly soothed the child. Don't worry, kitten. The pain will be gone soon. And he'd be able to use his magic to contact the original, instead of using it to keep the blocks and potions at bay. Voldemort would return. You have just finished listening to The Lost One by Sweet Wing King 101. If you enjoyed the story, please leave them some feedback on archiveofourown.org/work/31363010. And if you enjoyed my reading of the story, you can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/Kaiinbed.